Yo, what's good? It's your boy Sama, aka CJ, aka Junior Brinks, coming back at you live with another episode of Ow! Haha! Sippin' with Chuck. That's right, boy. We here back with another episode. Welcome to the next one. Hold on a second, because you already know what I got to do. Hold on. Damn, that's good. Now listen, right there. That's that hen dog, dog. And hen of pineapple. You know, I had to drink that because we is about to get to it. I'm about to tell you right now, bro. I don't even know if I'm gonna get to the rest of my topics that I had planned for this episode. Like, I really think I'm about to just talk about the MJ movie. That's all I need is the MJ movie, big dog. That's it right there. Boom, shaka laka laka, boom, shaka laka laka. MJ movie, okay? Now, let me tell you right now. I'm gonna start off with my rating because it is. I am everybody. If you an MJ fan, you already. I get a 9.8 out of 10. Now, it's not a perfect 10 because I don't think anything is ever perfect. There's always room for improvement, right? Okay. Now, where do I even start? Um, let's start with the dynamic of the movie, focusing on Michael and his dad, right? And the interactions and seeing the impact of how much that his dad influenced and traumatized that man all his life until he did the victory tour one last time to with his brothers and then getting up out of there. You feel me? So first off, Nia Long in the movie. Oh my goodness. And that was such a great cast. There's a lot of people in this movie, man. Mike Myers was in the movie, man. Freaking hey, shout out Jafar Jackson did a great job as Michael. I've been watching some of the interviews now that let me start with this. When I tell you that if the movie is sitting here and making you want to go look at all things Michael Jackson, I think it does its job. You know what I'm saying? Like, the story really, really focuses more so on that interaction between his dad and him and seeing that all the way through. I mean, it's Hollywood. You got to have some type of, like, thing. You got to have, like, a story, like a theme, in a way, an underlying theme. Even though, like, if some stuff was fluffed up for the movie, that's cool. I didn't care. I knew what was true, what was not true. I do know Bubbles the Chimp was there mad early because Bubbles the Chimp wasn't born until 1983 apparently. So I know that was a little early. Um, the animals being his friends and Bubbles being his best friend, that is a real thing. Like, my man's had a Neverland at the crib. Um, him being in love with Peter Pan, the story, right? I know that was true because he talked about it. I've seen interviews. I've heard about it. Uh, boy, that boy was traumatized. Okay, now the beginning of the movie, at first, I was like, I don't know, But as it kept going, and they're just playing songs. One of the songs they sang, they didn't actually sing for Motown. Um, they did that song a little early, but they started playing some songs in there, right? And I realized it was going up until he did the 1988 concert, which is ironically when I got home, right? Um, ended up watching the 1988 concert live for 2 hours. The joint was 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I watched the whole thing. I love Michael Jackson. I'm sure you love Michael Jackson. I'm sure the next person next to you love Michael Jackson. I'm sure that everybody on this planet still wish him and Prince, but him was still alive. You feel me? So, like, it's so that biopic was so good. It was just so good. So good. Right? Down to the way Jafar was talking like Michael. At points, he looked like his daddy, but at other points, I was like, bro, he really dead ass looked like Michael. Like, he really looking like Michael. When they did the Beat It rehearsal and they did the dance, and he was like, I just wanna try something. Can we try something? That's bad right now. And they end up doing it, right? So they did. da, 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 da. Whole thing, right? Joint was fire, bro. Um, One of the dancers I follow on there was was posting pictures of it, and I was like, oh, I didn't even see you, and I was like, oh, you're in the beat it scene. That's fire, right? And I'm over here like, you know, what what parts of this movie could be bad? What other parts of this movie could be bad? I'm not gonna hold you. They started getting me in that movie. Like, this is gonna be more like, I don't know. I can't even say this is a real review because it's just me just ranting about it. Um, okay, let's start. Jafar Jackson did a really good job. He was sitting here, the dynamic, the interactions between him and his dad, even when he was a kid. Not Jafar, but the little kid that played Little Michael and everything. That whole interaction, all of that was real nice and easy. Him seeing the closest of him and his mother, him watching movies or the Three Stooges, was real cool. Watching him do the all the Michael's childlike mannerisms, like being at the toy store, always talking to some of the kids who were like always in the hospital. That was true things. Michael loved, like, not to make it sound weird. Don't be weird, weirdos. Love talking to the kids. And it kind of helps you realize that Michael really never had a real childhood growing up. Like early on in the beginning of the movie, like you just sit here and you see all these things. His mom is trying to sit here, Nia Long. She's trying to sit here and really get Michael to, maybe he should go play with, other kids, and he's like, nah. And then you see him as he get older when he goes to the toy store and comes back, and he's like, who wants to play Twister? And everybody is like, his brother's outside playing basketball, and he's like, nah, I can't stay out too late. I got kids and a wife. Oh, I don't want to. I got a date tonight. Blah blah. Like they're growing up regular and stuff, and he's like, you guys are no fun no more. He's laughing it off, but it seemed like that really did like get to him a little bit. So you see him playing Twister with Bubbles, and I was like, okay, but he did a really good job of really showcasing that when Joe Jackson came around, anytime Joe Jackson came around, his whole demeanor changed. Like everything, energy dropped, energy left the room. My boy didn't want to do nothing. When he came back from fixing his nose, he ain't want his daddy nose. So he said, I don't want your nose. He went and got surgery. Boy was traumatized. Joe Jackson ain't saying nothing. He just gave him the shades back. And I think deep down in the movie, it showcased that, like, he wanted to take credit for molding Michael into being who he is, and he could take some credit for building up the Jackson 5. But when Michael wanted to do his solo thing, Quincy Jones, boy. And shout out to that boy Bill, bro. That security guard, hey, my boy was like, Joe, it's over, dog. And was like just chilling, helping, man, just being beside Michael's side, you feel me? Man, it was just so many great things about this film. Like, to the Mike Myers point, them into getting the thing up in Billie Jean played in MTV. That was a true thing. When he did Human Nature, bro. When Michael did Human Nature, I teared up, bro. I teared up. I ain't gonna hold you. They got me 2 times. They got me in this movie, bro. 2 times, right? And one of those times was the Human Nature time, and then towards the end, I forgot what song it was. It might have been in their last concert. No, I think Human Nature was the last one they did on the Victory Tour one. Dang, they got me twice in that movie. That's all that matters, right? Yeah, I think that's where they got me. They got me twice in that movie where I started tearing up. I was really feeling bad. Shawty was over there. She was like, she was like feeling bad at the Joe Jackson interactions, right? And it was amazing. Like, it was just amazing. Overall, 9.8 out of 10. Again, they could have done some things better. My mom was there with me. My girl was there with me. And my mom was like, where's Janet? Where's Janet? And Janet was, we heard all the stuff ahead of time that Janet wasn't going to be in, in the film. And she would have been too young anyway. She was like, I want to say like under 5 years old by the time Michael got big. Um, Latoya had issues with doing the movie. She thought it was a money grab, all that good jazz, but she still executively produced the film, so I don't know what that was about. What else? That scene when Michael had first unleashed the moonwalk at the was it the awards? Shit was so fire, bro. Shit was so fire. And shout out Jafar again, cause he was getting it. It's almost like Michael was like showing up, um, showing up in the film itself. Um, yeah, that joint was fire. That joint was mad fire. I I would go see that film again. As a Michael Jackson stan, I listened to MJ tracks going to the theater, listen to MJ tracks leaving the theater. I watched the whole concert. I've been watching nothing but interviews, stuff that I forgot about, stuff I ain't know, music videos, just everything Michael, bro. Like, and people keep talking about how much of a beautiful soul Michael Jackson was, bro, and I believe it to the T. Like, one time I got to go audition for Kenny Ortega, right? Um, it was. I was like, hey, wait, I get the audition for High School Musical casting, like director Kenny Ortega. So I went all the way to Boston, me and my mom's, 10-hour drive, right? And I went there, and he decided to tell us this story where during the audition, before we started doing stuff, and he was just like, you know, one time I was up at 3 a.m. just casually telling us the story. One time, Michael Jackson called him at 3 a.m. and he was like, yeah, all he said was butterflies and hung up, right? And that's another thing that I think that the movie did a great job at. Like, Michael was up. When do you see him sleep? My man's when he was making that Thriller album, I don't know how true that part is, like the exact like state or whatever. But when he was doing that album, he was in there killing it. Just boom, 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 boom. And then I was like, oh, and I saw the name of the songs. I was like, this is the Thriller album. This is the Thriller album. So, Michael would be up. I didn't know he was calling random people just to say some random shit, but he'd be up. Like, he called his security dude in the film, and I don't know how true it was that it was a security dude, but he did make a call and did I get actual. This part is true. If you don't know, this part is true. He did get Bloods and Crips to come in and be embedded. That is a true statement. Everybody knows it. They all showed up on set at the warehouse. They did the rehearsals. They was all chill. They did the video, and it is what you saw. And he had his dancers in there mixed in with actual gang members, and I'm glad they put that part in the movie because that's how big of an influence he was. I've been seeing a lot of interviews again and stuff that I was reminded, like him and Chris Tucker said some stuff. Michael Jackson was a funny dude. Like, he had a ton of jokes. Like, he loved Michael Jackson impersonators. If you didn't know, Michael Jackson loved rap. If you didn't know, Michael Jackson loved NWA. Like, he loved all of that. He loved all of that shit, right? And I forgot who it was. It was an interview I was watching, and they literally said Michael Jackson was talking like a regular nigga. Like, Michael Jackson will talk like a regular nigga. Like, he was a regular nigga. And be making jokes and everything. But Michael was that's how much influence in like he had, bro. Like, first off, to have people fan at your concert when all you doing is this. I'm sorry for audio listeners, but I'm about to turn my head. But when he just do this and then my boy, all he did was turn his head and look to the left and right. When he did that, people fainted. So I like that they captured that essence. I really do. It's so crazy because I had just finally watched like Bohemian Rhapsody, that biopic. I finally had watched that like 2 weeks ago now. Like 2 weeks ago. And I thought Queen was great. That was a great film too. But Michael freaking Jackson. Okay? The man, the myth, the legend himself. The now rest in peace. But like, bro, like that's how crazy it was. I was listening to the Club 520 podcast, and again, this is before I even saw the movie. And they, Jeff Teagues talk about the story about like the day he got drafted. And when he got drafted, he was like, everybody was at the crib, and Michael Jackson died. And so he's like, he got drafted, and everybody in the house crying. Influence, bruh. Influence. When Michael Jackson died, I was in an elevator. It was me and my little brother. We were at the hotel elevator because my dad was doing a job, right? So we're in the hotel all day, and we're at the hotel elevator. I'm going down, and this lady, I think it was an older, white lady, whatever. And she's like, Michael Jackson just died. I looked at her. I said, are you dumb? Michael Jackson's alive. I'm like freaking 2009. So what am I, like 12, 13, 14? I'm like 14, bruh. 2009, 14. And freaking, I'm like looking at her like crazy. I'm looking at her like, bro, what are you talking about? Michael Jackson ain't dead. Are you stupid? Like, and this is an older lady, dog. And people are looking at it like, no, really, he's dead. I'm like, he's not dead. He's alive. What are you talking about? And when, boom, ding, get to the lobby, right? And everybody is crowded in the lobby. And I mean, absolutely everybody. Everybody is crowded in the lobby. And we're standing there. And I'm like, jaw drop. I was just like, and my little brother's looking at me. I look at him. I look at that lady. I said, yo, I am so sorry. And then we all looked. She's looked too. We all stared at the screen on the news. Michael Jackson is dead. And I said, ain't no freaking way, bro. My aunt was crying all day when she found out. Like, and my aunt Watt was like a huge fan, right? And she was crying all day. And it was just a sad day when bro died. Like, and that's one of the very few concerts that, like, sometimes I'll say like I was born too late, right? Because that's one of the few concerts that I never got to experience. There's people that like I wish I would have experienced if I was born just a little bit earlier. And Michael Jackson, Prince. Those are the two concerts that I wish I experienced. Hands down. That's it. Like, I don't really go to concerts. My mom used to work at concerts when I was young. Like, she used to work concerts every now and then in Virginia. I don't really go to concerts because of that. Because I was like, bro, okay, I done seen a lot of big names when I was a kid probably pop up, do a concert, dip. A lot of bands come out, do a concert, open up, dip. I leave with so many light sticks, it was insane, right? But MJ, boy, that is one I definitely would have gone to. And man, oh man, I'd see that film again, and I love it, and I would love to keep watching it. I promise on everything. Just, I gotta clap it up, bro. I gotta clap it up. That was a good film, great film. And I don't understand the Rotten Tomato score and whatever they did on Premiere. I don't care about none of that stuff. They will always sit here and try to downplay something great. I don't care. Y'all are not fooling me. Okay? Y'all are not fooling the people around me. Y'all are not fooling the people who truly enjoyed as a real fan Michael Jackson. People were literally in the theater tearing up. People were in the theater clapping. People were in the theater singing along. That's the biggest thing. We were all in the theater, and I looked a little bit. We were all singing along. I was singing every song that I knew. I ain't know too many of the Jackson 5 songs. I knew ABC. I knew all those. But, like, come on now. We was getting busy in there. It felt like a on-screen concert, for real. And even though it wasn't really we was really enjoying that whole jump. So, shout out to that film. Really great film. Really, really great film. So I ain't even gonna hold y'all. Like, I don't care nothing about nothing they say about it. If it ain't positive, that shit was fire. Fuck everybody. Um, Yeah, dog. What else is there? What else is it? What else I got, man? What else? Honestly, I'm gonna talk about Michael all day. I can keep talking about Michael all freaking day. I don't even want to talk about none of this extra shit. Like, man, that's really all I got for y'all today. I'm just so excited about the Michael Jackson movie. I'll go ahead and record another pod to talk about all the other shit that, like, cause bro, uh, Michael Jackson, bro. Thank you for gracing us with your talents, skills. Thank you, Quincy Jones. Thank you, everybody in the Jackson camp. Thank you to everybody that created Michael Jackson, and thank you, Michael Jackson, because without you, I don't think I don't think a lot of dancers would dance today, and two, I don't think that a lot of artists would be as great as they are without Michael Jackson, bro. And I mean literally once in a lifetime generational talent. That is crazy work. Crazy work, bro. Fuck. Wish I was alive during Michael Jackson time. Anywho, that's all I really got. That's all I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna do the next part and talk about a whole bunch of stuff coming up, dance events, all that stuff. I'm gonna go through Invincible. I'm gonna go through Daredevil, Darth Maul. Those are also really fire shows. Some great anime out, man. I just want to talk about Michael today. That's it. That's all I needed to do. So there's that. Shoot. What am I for? Oh, so before, since we're on the subject of music greats, right? Me, the legend himself. I got 2 new songs out, man. Make sure y'all go check them joints out. Why Go Back WGB. Out on every platform. You can say WGB CO2. That's COII. That's it. All caps. You'll see CO2. And then you got Do You Remember? That's DYR. Just type in DYR by CO2. Those are both of my songs, man. Just go ahead and check them joints out. If you like them joints, play them joints wherever you go. If you think they a vibe, play them joints. I got 2 more songs coming out. I got Save the Princess coming out, and I got Let Me Love You Part 2 coming out within the next few weeks. So just go ahead and yeah, if you like them joints, vibe out and be easy. All right, make sure you make somebody's day better than it was yesterday. Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna find out what my motivational quote will be for y'all. Right? Okay, we 24 deep, but it's okay. It comes with the territory, right? But I already know my exit, so let me once again give you a damn, that's good. Peace out.